Sykes, O'Halloran and Bradley Kualalawa, Dawn and Luluai. The forwards, Stevenson, McLinden, who captains the side, and Tukey, Homono, Hopkins and Lolohea. And on the bench it's Trindle, Purdom, Williams and Heighton. The coach is Tony Ray. Now the Saints, and there are changes here because out go Lyon, Gardner, Long and Sculthorpe. Wellens is the fullback, Albert, Hooper, Talau and Roby on the wing. Vinnie Anderson is at standoff alongside Mickey Hyam. Forwards, Fozzard, Cunningham the skipper, Anderson, Gilmore, Bennett and Wilkin. And the substitutes, it's a strong looking bench with Edmondson, Mason, Fassavalu and young Scott Moore for coach Ian Millward. The Saints coming out with their mascot. Interesting, this young man, he's 7-year-old Martin Helens from Horsham in West Sussex. He's a big London Bronco.
The better. This is a day that they should redeem themselves.
They are a different side on their home field, and Paul Sykes gets us underway. So here we go, and let's see how London approach this. It was Roby who took the first tackle, and that came in from Thomas Luluai, who tomorrow will be on a plane to New Zealand. He is the only British-based Kiwi who is in the New Zealand side for the Anzac Test. And that's next Friday, and you'll be able to see him and it on Sky Sports. It's live from down under. This now, Vinnie Anderson for St Helens, and it's surprising that he was overlooked by the New Zealand selectors.
A few eyebrows raised in that department, but I must say that this is a better start than London. Their defence was very weak last week, but it's pretty solid now at the moment.
Phil Clark, Dean Bell will be in the studio for that international. And Chris Warren will be presenting the programme. Of course, it's the start of the build-up to the Tri-Nations at the end of this year, involving Great Britain, New Zealand and Australia. This is Sebastian Luisi, who plays the ball there to Lee Greenwood. Greenwood, 17 tries, a career best last year, back in the side this evening. And now Homono drives the ball forward up towards the halfway line for London. Good tackling though. And now it's Lee Hopkins. Great defence. I am low down and Jason Hooper up top.
Good work by the London forwards. Need to take control, and once again we see they often use it on their home ground. They work that very short blind side. Good thinking there from Luke Dawn. He's had a tremendous season so far. Been one of the high stars here down in the capital city.
Indeed so, and well, they are attracting the big names to London. That's Martin McCutcheon, of course, on the left of your screen there. And next door is Mrs. Ray, Mrs. Tony Ray, and there is the coach himself. So it's a scrum down here with St Helens head and feed, and Paul Anderson standing out of the scrum, the big prop forward. Ian Millward certainly likes to move his players around. Doesn't really matter what numbers are on their back. Let's go down to the sideline, and Dave Hatfield again with the onerous task of naming the man of the match.
Plenty of London players have a lot to prove after that woeful performance at Leeds last week. We know how talented they are, but they need to tighten up and be a lot tougher in the middle tonight. Francis Stevenson was rested for that game. Mark Tukey started on the bench. They're both in the starting lineup tonight, so it looks as though they've set out the stall in that department. There's a lot of midfield talent missing from St Helens, so they'll be very pleased that they have Jason Hooper, perhaps still feeling his way back after injury, but he could be a very important player for them tonight.
Thanks, Dave. We'll hear from you with about 5 to go. The identity of tonight's man of the match will go home with the watch, of course. It was Cunningham who gave the ball to Anderson. He nearly made the break. A very important tackle there by Francis Stevenson, and he's there again, but he can't clamp the ball, and it's Paul Anderson on to Nick Fozzard. London under a bit of pressure here. It's Hyam now. He finds John Wilkin. Wilkin then to Wellens. It goes wide, and Hooper. That's a good tackle by Greenwood.
Sure was. Paul and all made sure there was no forward progress.
Here's Wilkin again. Infield it goes. And Wilkin takes the return pass from Bennett. On it goes from Anderson to Kieran Cunningham. This is St Helens at their best, and Gilmore finds Talau, and Talau goes wide to Roby, who goes in for the first try.
Tremendous effort.
Well, there are some big names missing for St Helens tonight, but on the evidence of what we've seen in that move leading up to that try, it matters not, and Roby goes over for the first try in the corner.
Just couldn't stop St Helens from offloading. They had the numbers there, London, but they failed to Stop the progress. Wonderful offload there from Paul Anderson. Quick hands, just like a three-quarter. And they were always going to be in trouble. Just couldn't get across there. Luisi, very slow indeed. We know the quality of this St. Helens outfit. They can keep the ball alive. Great stuff. Just couldn't squeeze in. Wonderful pass. Well finished by the youngster. Made sure he had the feet up. This has pleased the coach. No end.
Tremendous try from St. Helens. And we mentioned a word last week at Headingley while we were watching London, and indeed on Boots and All in midweek, Steve-O, while we were watching the highlights again, and when we were watching the Lee performance in their heavy defeat at St. Helens, and that word was tackling, and London forgot to tackle there. Jason Hooper here with the first conversion attempt of the night, and it's a pretty difficult one, way out on the touchline over there. Three goals last year for Jason Hooper in defeat against London, by the way. Not a bad effort. It is not a bad effort from Jason Hooper. And St. Helens lead by 6 points to 0. Bill, I think we were going to come to you with the news on St. Helens kicking problems. It looks like there are none.
Well, it wasn't problems, Eddie. It was the dilemma they faced. The choice between Jason Hooper on this left-hand side and Paul Wellens on the other side. Those are the two nominated kickers. It's probably kicking in open play that might be the difficulty, because of course they're missing the real masters of that art. Sean Long and Paul Skelthorpe are out injured, and it looks as though John Wilkin might have the responsibility in that area.
Indeed so, and Tony Ray with a problem very early in the piece here. Mind you, St. Helens have coughed the football up. It was a mistake by Wilkin. So this is a chance for London. And it's from McClendon to Dawn. Tries to go around Vinnie Anderson. Mickey Heim is there right behind him though. And Dawn gets to his feet. McClendon waits. Gives it then infield to Paul Sykes. Sykes to Luluai. But there was no forward progress there. Gilmore just waited with Anderson. They sprung the trap. And McClendon is waiting 10 metres away from the line. Here is Luke Dawn again, and the runner is Hopkins. Good tackle from Bennett.
Tremendous defence as well. Helping out there, the big fella Paul Anderson.
Mark Tukey flicks it out the back door. This is Thomas Luluai. There is a chance here.
Great tackle. Willie Challow was superb. He's lost it.
No way through for Harmono, and
Francis
also
Stevenson.
no way through for Francis Stevenson.
Well, it was close, and you'll see that the big prop forward just took his eye off the football. Good opportunity. Right in front of him was the big fella Anderson. Golden chance there, just thrown out the window. Bad mistake by St. Helens. Allowed the Broncos possession, but they couldn't make it pay.
Just 3 wins in 30 meetings against St. Helens in 24 years. But they are, in fact, London, contemplating back-to-back wins against St. Helens. They won 28-22 when they last met at Knowsley Road. Stevenson with the tackle, and Cunningham is the dummy half. Here is Fozzard trying to drill his way through Paul Sykes. Cunningham, they're making good ground from the tackle, are St. Helens. That's a great ball. They get to halfway on the 4th tackle.
Once again, we see London very slow in that marker position. You can't afford to do that with Kieran Cunningham out there on the park.
And Greenwood picks up the loose ball. St. Helens moved up in a line though, a straight line. And it looks like it might be a hard night at the office again for London Broncos, Phil Clark.
Certainly does after the Leeds Rhinos. Certainly the second best team in the league at making ground with the ball. They advance it very well, and when you've seen them defeated this year, as the Wigan Warriors did just a few weeks ago, it was when the defence got up quickly and stopped the momentum that players like Fozzard and Anderson can bring to the rest of the team. Obviously tying up Cunningham at Aiton is important, and that I'm sure is an element that the Broncos will want to have worked on this week, plus the fact to see how they responded to that very disappointing defeat last week. Here's a penalty. They've had one chance to attack and almost score. Here's a second.
Indeed so, and St. Helens straying offside. Referee quick to blow the whistle. This is McClendon.
That was a high one.
Yes, he felt that.
Surely they'll just take the tap. No real advantage to punch it into the corner. No doubt about it. Gilmore made a right meal of it.
Be careful, Lee. First contact
And
shoulder.
the hooker Mark McClendon felt it.
So here they come with Stevenson, and Anderson met him.
I must say, Anderson in the opening minutes,
On the line.
well, he's tackled everything.
McClendon again, go down the short side. O'Halloran, the ball is eventually fed wide to Bradley Kalilawa. We're going to call him Nick Bradley from here on in.
Here.
And the looping pass to Luluwai. Oh, and an
that's
awful
no
ball. And Mick Hyam just gobbles up that. Well, Thomas Luluwai, the pass was flat and it was horrible. It was all along the ground.
With me, Solomon.
Again, poor finishing by the London side. They looked high, got away with it.
Here's Cunningham, not standing square, London,
You're not square, man.
penalised by the referee, Ian Smith.
You've got to be very smart and quick against St Helens. I've already mentioned the fact that Kieran Cunningham, one of the best runners from dummy half, out there playing halfback today is Mickey Hyam as well. Those two will take control. Not a very promising start. See there, Cunningham taking full advantage, getting the penalty.
This is Mike Bennett. They're 40 metres away with Anderson. He'll trundle it forward. Takes 3 London players to bring him down. Cunningham waits. Fossard's on his inside. Wilkin is there too.
Back to one.
Back to one.
First knock on by Luke.
He said back to one, and then there was a mistake from St Helens, so it's the first knock on that he will bring it back for.
Well, if he said then back to 6, then that means it's play on. It's rather unusual. If he waves that it's back to 6, then he can't go back before that, surely.
Wilkin out of the base of the scrum, finds Gilmore, he finds Darren Albert. Oh, Darren Albert sees a hole and goes for it. It was a good job that Luluwai was there with the tackle.
Oh, they're in awful trouble again.
This is Gilmore. You cannot stand off and watch St Helens play football in front of you. It is fatal.
They've got to get into the faces, and they're failing to do that.
Wilkin, back it goes to Anderson. Anderson slips the pass to Cunningham, and Cunningham! He's over the line. Now then, what will happen here? Will he get it down? No, he won't.
Hold up, 3.
So they will take the tackle count, keep it going, but move St Helens back 10 metres. So this is the 3rd tackle. And this is Wellens, and that was forward, says the referee.
No, use it as an obstruction, pushing a man out of the way.
Penalty to London anyway, they'll be grateful for that.
Well, I wonder how long this big fellow is going to be out there on the paddock. Not only has he done his defence, he's had a couple of half breaks, and he's there being utilised, would you believe, as the first receiver.
Gilmore, the man who took Mark O'Halloran out. We haven't heard this evening yet from Dennis Betts, who's our special guest, the Wigan coach, who has journeyed down with us. Dennis, early thoughts of this match? St Helens, they're looking a bit sharp.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of points scored tonight. It's great conditions with two sides that really love to use the ball, offload and play with real good shape. What you see on this pitch as well is you've got to convert pressure to points. One penalty to St Helens early in the game. They got down there, they scored the try. It's London at the moment sitting a little bit apprehensive when they get on the St Helens line. I think they need to settle down and to score next, just to get rid of those little bit of the yips that they've got from last week.
You think it's last week that's playing on their mind at the minute?
I think so, and they have to score next. I think if they don't score next, it could be a long night for them.
This is Luke Dawn. Fossard got to him. This is McClendon now, having a little run from dummy half. Ball comes infield. They look a little bit laboured. They look a bit leaden-footed, London, at the moment. They need a spark from somewhere. Maybe McClendon will find it for them. Gets the ball away to Sebastian Luisi. But that was the last. He was trapped.
They went for the power play. I agree with Dennis Betts. They really do need some confidence, and
That's
that
a
was
penalty.
high. On the full-back, Paul Wellens. No doubt about that.
Yes, Steve Trindle was up round the neck, and the referee called it as a grapple tackle.
And more of it just as a head-eye. Bang, straight into it. Forearm, no doubt about it. Well, again, that's the third time that London have had the opportunity to stretch this Saints defence, and I'm afraid it's been very, very poor build-up.
Cunningham to Hyam, nearly through the middle. Important tackle low down by Trindle. This is Cunningham, here is Fossard. They're anxious to get on with it, St Helens.
Very flat attack as well, Eddie, and that's where they're getting the advantage. They're catching London and getting back before they get set in one line. Look how easy they're getting over the advantage line. Watch for the inside pass here.
Hyam and Wilkin. And that ball is hacked forward by Dawn. He was taken out a little bit then.
Well, it appeared that way. And it's back to 6.
Yes, 6 more tackles here for St Helens. And this is Gilmore. And up the middle comes Jason Hooper. That was high from Tukey. He gave himself up as well.
Well, they're struggling to keep up with the pace there.
Well, did Fozzard take Luke Dawn out?
Well, it appeared that way, but the official said play on. No doubt about the swinging arm from Tukey.
What are you doing?
And he looks to be struggling with the pace of this game. Not surprisingly, St Helens, they've really come out of the blocks, keeping the ball alive, twisting in the tackle. And they've got London well and truly on the rack. Surprising that they're going for the 2.
Well, they're both talking down the walkie-talkies, the coaches. I don't think they're in communication with each other somehow.
I can assure you of that, but this really has surprised me with the London Broncos on the back foot. Disarray in defence, especially in and around the ruck area, and they've slowed things down and gone for the 2 rather than opt and try to get the 6.
Mark Tukey was blowing really hard, wasn't he?
Steve, do you think that's an indication that they think it's going to be a very close game here today? They're missing some of the big stars. They may not have the confidence of putting 40 or 50 points past this Broncos side, and they think that 2 points there just might be the difference at the end of the match.
Well, it does surprise me that Ian Millward, we know that he's a sort of coach that said, look, we can blast them off the park if we can do it early. You know, once you get the doubt back into the minds of these London players, remember they got hammered against Leeds. It'll just go swimming around in the brain box, and you say, oh, listen, we're not up to it. The heads went down rather surprisingly, did London last week against Leeds. I'm surprised that St Helens haven't tried to just really screw them to the floor.
People will be asking what's gone wrong with London, because they beat Wigan here, they hammered Wakefield here, and the only team that has beaten them on this ground so far, Hull. It's away where they're having their problems, and Mark McClendon told us there's another penalty is conceded there for a high challenge on Nick Fozzard. Mark McClendon told us in Boots and All on Wednesday there's nothing about the travel sickness.
Well, maybe you're right, Eddie, but I must say it is a big problem at the moment. That's a poor attempt by Lee Hopkins. But you can see the difference between the two sides. The power of the forwards from St Helens, they are making ground. Fozzard working hard, same with Anderson.
Well, they've won on their last 3 visits to Griffin Park, St Helens. No less than 10 times to either, or rather at the Valley, the Stoop, or here. And of course, they've won the Challenge Cup at Wembley and Twickenham. So travelling to London holds no fears for St Helens. And they're treating this as a very big match because they came down early yesterday and overnighted in a hotel close to the ground to make sure their preparation was absolutely spot on, and by the looks of things, it is. Here's Bennett.
Again, we see the ability of St Helens, especially the forwards, getting into the man that's trying to tackle, twisting, and then being able to offload.
This is Wilkin. Ball is fed out wide, and they keep it alive. Wilkin again. This time it goes forward, and Wellens asks him to go to the screen and take a look.
No, it was a knock-on. Little doubt about it.
Wellens was convinced that came off a London player.
Yeah, but the ball was going forward, so it doesn't have to hit the ground.
Well, he tried to throw it, and he missed through it. Like a missed kick.
It was going forward.
Referee spot on.
Eddie, you made the point yesterday about Leeds Rhinos and their second half performances. They've scored far more tries in the second half. It's quite the opposite with St Helens, and maybe if London can just live with them now in this opening half, it does give them a chance. They've played and scored more tries in the first half than they have in the second. London just need to live with the intensity that Saints are playing at the moment.
Well, they watched Leeds win last night on Sky Sports, St Helens, I know that. This is Greenwood meanwhile, ball in field, little fumble. It's a knock-on, says the referee, against Vinnie Anderson.
Well, they've got away with it. Winger did ever so well. Good position by the man with the flag. No doubt about it, Anderson did it. There you see, just a little one.
Heads in.
And then the second one.
Vinnie Anderson might actually have been playing for London. They thought they had him before their financial problems forced him to look elsewhere, and St Helens moved very quickly and he's looked a fine acquisition. Talking of fine acquisition, this is Luke Dawn,
Clear the ropes, quicker.
formerly with the Sydney Roosters last year. And now they have Danny Williams. Not the best pass. He did brilliantly well then, Luluai. Oh, the referee has got that wrong, I think.
Oh, that is a disappointment.
I'm happy you lost it.
Well, he's happy.
I get one look, you look like you lost it.
I don't think he pulled it back. Don't think he left the fingers.
Come at me, Thomas, please.
Let's just have a look at it here. It wasn't the best pass. Catches it. Keeps it up. It's going backwards. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Hard done by Thomas Luluai.
Talking about Luluai, you know, the combination Luke Dawn, Thomas Luluai early in the season, absolutely brilliant. They've been working hard. But the one good thing about the coaches in this country, you know, they do look at the videotapes and they've sorted it out how to turn them both back in the inside. They like to play a little bit wide, but the good defence from St Helens is forcing them down the middle, giving them no room to move.
Here is John Wilkin again, attracting 3 London tacklers. Williams was one, Sykes was another, and Lee Hopkins was the third. Now it's Fozzard.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's good play by Mark McClendon. Brave. Last tackle here. Hyam. Little dink over the top. And surely that will run dead.
Yes.
Just about, but it nearly foxed everybody. And Luisi took one heck of a risk.
Well, it was going all over the place, wasn't it? Luisi
He nearly touched it as well.
Thank you very much indeed.
Greenwood, that's a good ball. And O'Halloran.
Good tackle by who else but
Paul
the fullback,
Wellens.
Paul Wellens.
Oh, that was
Great
a
stuff.
risky pass by Luluai. Hooper was all over Luke Dawn then as he received that. Here's Hopkins. Been very impressive early in the season. Hopkins, he gets the ball away. And Darren Albert swoops on it. Now, was that a knock-on by St Helens?
Either way, the official says play on. But again, poor handling from this London outfit.
Right side, Luke, 10 metres.
Why they had to offload in that position. Sykes had no chance to get to it.
It looked like a knock-on by St Helens, I must say.
10
When it goes
metres.
for you, it's going for you. When it doesn't, it don't. Cunningham. Hyam. Wilkin. Wide again. Wellens, he just stepped away from Nick Bradley. And London trying to force the winger in touch, and they do. Roby, try scorer early. Nowhere to go.
Very fortunate there, you know, because it looked to me as though Nick Bradley stuck out the leg. Oh, that could have been a trip. Another inch. Could have been sent from the field of play.
Still a very worrying time for London when they have to scramble after 20 minutes over to the corner like that. They exposed them so simply, didn't they, with just shifting the ball out to that side. A couple of players going through, the ball going behind him. London seem really lethargic at the moment, Steve. There's
Well, they were last
no
week.
energy in the side.
They were last week, Phil, and I agree with Dennis Betts. They really need something like a clean break, somewhere they can apply the pressure and build their confidence. It's shattered at the moment.
Here's Greenwood. Hooper with the tackle. Dennis Betts, London, they look a little heavy-leaded, don't they? Heavy-footed.
Everything seems forced at the moment. You watch St Helens play, everything's done at a pace, everything's done quickly. And they're really on top. They've had lots of field position. This is only a short pitch, which could suit St Helens quite a lot, really, because they play on a shorter pitch than most sides in the competition. So it's quite even on that sense, but you have to be able to convert some kind of pressure in this game. And this could be the turning point with a penalty now. Not had one for some time.
They haven't. Cunningham a bit high on McClendon.
Well, that's the second we've seen. Remember the new ruling, persistent high tackling. Could see someone go to the sin bin.
I think we've seen a few either side at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just saying that maybe it will be running through the mind of Ian Smith, the official. Next one, maybe he'll call the captain.
That's what he's got to do. He's got to pull the captains over. He's got to warn the teams. And then I think he's got a 15-minute period within that time to get another high shot.
This is Luisi, the full-back. He nearly got through. If London can post a try here with this pressure, it just might lift them. Homono. Good defence, though, again from St Helens, but he dumps it down. and Williams loses the ball.
Oh, no one in front of him there. The big second rower. Ronnie Williams had the golden opportunity. A good offload. A real let-off.
Steve, well, that's the second opportunity they've been close to Saints line. They've got to convert those into points.
Releasing Solomon.
Fozzard plays the ball. Here is Willie Talau.
This is where they're just breaking through London. Quick play the ball. Running at the two men. Going backwards.
This is Jason Hooper now. Luke Dawn with the tackle, helped out by Lee Greenwood. Darren Albert is the dummy half. Here now is Wilkin. Wilkin in centre field finds Cunningham. Cunningham flicks the ball out the back, finds Hyam. Hyam to Mason. Mason on it goes to Wellens. Wellens wide to Gilmore. And here now comes Talau. He was over this side a second ago. Now he's supporting the attack down the left-hand side.
Surely they'll opt for a bomb here. Luisi, not the best under the high one.
And Darren Albert looking for it, but picked up by Luke Dawn. This is Greenwood, and Greenwood continues it on, and they no need to panic, London. This is the first tackle of a set of 6. They'd secured the ball from the high bomb, and then they just seem to get themselves under a lot of pressure. But now the pressure is relieved. A penalty for offside. And Stuart Cummings, a very interested spectator here at Griffin Park tonight.
Well, he should be. He's in charge of the referees. He's got to be interested.
What an attitude problem you've got today.
No, it's not an attitude problem. It's part of his job.
Trindle with the drive forward 20 metres away from the line. It's McClendon. Now it's Luluai. Luluai gives it some width. O'Halloran, what a great tackle.
Was it ever? Lee Gilmore. Tremendous stuff.
Luluai. McClendon again. Here is Trindle on.
Knocked on again.
Well, it went backwards, says the referee.
I'm not so sure. Very fortunate Broncos.
It was touched by a St Helens player. It's back to 1. Lee Hopkins.
Oh, he thinks it's a last. Oh, come on. They've got to start realising anything like that. You've got to look at the official. You could see he was shaking the hand. What on earth is going on out there?
Well, Ian Smith has got one of the loudest voices amongst the referees, and surely he heard that.
Well, it's hard to say from here. He did kick it, didn't he? I just looking at the London side, it needs somebody in the side to, I don't know, do something inspirational, because other than that, this is going to be an embarrassing scoreline again at the end of this game.
And the referee holds the clock and now wants a word with Mark McClendon.
Well, we've got holding down, we've got offside, we've got head tackles. Don't give me the choice of having to put the next one. Further action. Right, let's work with me on the penalties. Don't wind him back.
Well, London on a warning because St Helens have just had their 6th penalty awarded. London have had 5. So we've had 11 penalties in the opening 26 minutes of this match. But
Great
London are the team on the warning.
Great tackle there from the hooker, McClendon. Had to be as well. You can see there that every time that Saints have the ball, they look threatening. That's better defence. That's good stuff. They're over. Boy, they need it. And you know, it's something like that can just lift it. Thomas Luluai.
Dennis Betts looks a little perplexed.
I'm a little perplexed by this London side. It just does not look like the side that we've played against earlier this year. They're losing. They've got no shape. They've got no organisation. They're not a side that seems to know what they're doing. And it's exactly the same players trying to do exactly the same things. It's a real strange thing that this can happen.
Dennis, early in the season we mentioned Luke Dawn, Thomas Luluai. Luluai especially was controlling things at first marker. It appears now that Sentinel, watch every time he gets it, they don't rush towards him so they can then offload into the semi-gap. They're just standing back and allowing him to find out whether to go into the line or not.
I think they're trying to force that confidence in themselves. They're trying to offload when they shouldn't be, and it's causing them problems.
Stevenson for the Broncos. That's the 3rd tackle. 28 minutes gone. They trail 8-0 to St Helens. Luluai, good ball back on the inside to Trindle. This is McClendon. Now it's Luluai again.
Ooh, look at it, got that.
He did brilliantly to pick that up.
Well, look at that. There's no one shouting. No one wants it. And where's the second phase?
Well, there's men wide. They have So many went out there, and has
got it.
Nick Bradley got over for the try. The referee will hand it on to the video referee for final confirmation. All he's interested in is the grounding.
This is a try, no doubt about that.
It is a try, Bradley.
And to be fair to the touch judge, he nodded straight away. He's in a good position, and you can see there. Well, Nick Bradley, he has another part of the name that we don't bother trying to say these days. There's confirmation. Well, boy, if ever a side in Super League needed a 4-pointer, it's the London Broncos at this point in time.
And Nick Bradley is a man who's in form, tries in 4 of his last 5 in the Super League.
Well, it was amazing. London were all at sea. They didn't know what was happening. Rob Purdom was left saying, hey, come on, fellas. You know, we've got our second phase here, and thankfully, what a great pass from McClendon. See Paul Wellens trying his best, but he's just left in no man's land. Do I need it? Am I going to get it? What's McClendon here? Boom. Good stuff. Misses the man out. Well finished. Game on. But little to cheer about in the last 2 games.
Now Paul Sykes, can he kick the goal from the touchline? No. Went the wrong side of the upright. Well, there he is, Nick Bradley, and his hyphenated name is Kalilawa. But it's Bradley, as far as we are concerned.
Keep it tidy. Keep working.
He began his career with West Tigers. And he's got London back in the hunt here. What they needed. And Trindle will drive the ball forward again.
And then you'll see here now in the next 5 tackles just what effect that's had on the London side. Good run from McClendon out of action half. But you talked about the performance early in the season. Of course, Neil Budworth was starting as hooker on those occasions, and McClendon coming on as the game went on and having an impact that way. But we've certainly taken it forward with a bit more vigour now after they've scored the try.
Yes, Budworth is out for the season down here in London, like so many other players have suffered this year. And London here, lucky I think to get the penalty. The ball was stolen, says the referee, and I rather think he actually lost it.
Well, it appeared as though he was trying to offload. Ian Millwood far from impressed. And was upset with some of his players, or maybe the official. Either way, getting to that point, Phil, in regards, you know, they need someone to direct. I think that is the reason why Tony Ray has thrown on Rob Purdom. They've missed him.
Hold.
Another opportunity for London to build here. This is Danny Williams, who has made a bit of a difference to them since he's come on. And McClendon, oh, it's a loose pass. He passed that to himself, as it turned out.
Quick thinking as well from the hooker, McClendon. He's having a wow of a game.
Now then, Luisi and Luluai. No way through.
10 metres. Hold. Kieran.
There's McClendon again.
Kieran.
Gives it to Williams. It's a great tackle from Gilmore.
It's important to try to get another set of 6 here.
Bradley looking for a second try.
He got it.
Has he got it? It's another video referee decision.
That's unbelievable.
Ian Ollerton with the call on this.
No try, Eddie.
It's a try.
That's a try. Feet in the air.
It is.
He must have
try.
That right arm must be about 11'6". That is one of the best tries I've seen for a long time by a winger. Confirmation on its way.
Ian Ollerton agrees. His legs were above the line. I think that's where Phil went for the no try, because he could see the legs over the line.
I said no try because I didn't think it was possible, Steve. He could score from that position.
Well, I don't think anybody did. You're right there. I don't think James Roby thought so either. But this man, the man with the arm, we'll call him the arm. Good long pass by McClendon. He's been the start of the show as far as the Broncos are concerned. This is the incident where Purdom, to me, looked as though he was trying to offload. It was deemed by the official that it was reefed out. But take nothing away from this man. That's his second try. Wonderful, wonderful arm, just lunging out.
Great effort from him. Formerly with Manly last year, 4 tries in 11 appearances. Well, that is try number 6 for Nick Bradley this year. And Paul Sykes misses on the same side again. It's 2 tries to 1 though in London's favour, but it's 8 all on the scoreboard.
Well,
there you can see there, he's in there, and the defence should really have wrapped him up. Went a little bit too high there. James Roby has paid the price, but what a finish, Eddie.
Great finish.
Just shows you taking the 2 points, 2 tries to 1, and it's all level.
Absolutely. Dennis, I read an article in the paper on the way down here that hindsight, you said, is a wonderful thing, but do you regret taking those 2 points that were on offer last night against Leeds early in the second half?
No, it can be said to be a turning point, but I think, would you do it again? Maybe look at the tape. Yeah, I wouldn't do, because I think that we might drop the ball off the kick-off, or we might drop the ball again, so I wouldn't take the 2, no.
Mind you, it was a magnificent kick-off by Sinfield, to be fair to him. It was terrific.
It was a good kick. I think he played very well last night, Sinfield.
He did. This is this evening though, and this is Hopkins for London, who are right back in this. They looked in danger of being swamped after 20 minutes, but they are in it, and that's a high kick and brilliantly claimed by Paul Wellens.
And it was as if the loss last week at Leeds just shattered the confidence. All of a sudden they have a try. Just look how much more ground they make when they run with the ball, how stronger they are in the tackle. It's a completely different side now. They've got some points on the board.
Remember when they bundled the man into touch-o on that far side, Steve-O? You said it might just lift them, and it has.
Not only that, you know, this is the advantage of playing at home, is that it lifts your home crowd. And they can hear it. The players can feel and sense this emotion that goes up.
It's St Helens in possession, though, with Mickey Hyam. Whoa, and Mark Edmondson wasn't expecting that.
Well, he's having a little bit of a go at his teammate, Mickey Hyam, and saying, listen, that wasn't for me. That was supposed to be for Paul Wellens. And he wasn't ready. But it's an old saying, Phil Clark. You've got to have your eye on the ball at all times for the full 80 minutes.
You do, they're shaking, aren't they now, Saints? How can they handle a bit of pressure?
Well, Mark McClendon's got his tail up. Here is Zeb Luisi.
Play the rocks.
London with 31 play the balls in the opposing half. That's incredible.
And not only that, a good move by Tony Ray. We saw there Mark McClendon take first receiver as though he's playing at standoff. He's more comfortable there.
Dipping pass from Luluai is picked up by Luke Dawn, and Paul Sykes gets away from 1, 2, and almost 3. Lee Hopkins at dummy half. Shape to give it to Luluai. Oh, Luke Dawn with the pass quickly through the hands, and Greenwood would overrun the ball.
Well, if it
had
stayed in the right position, you can see there. That's something that puzzles me. Nothing wrong with the effort there by Luke Dawn. Is that everybody seems to want to play this flat attack, even centres and 3/4 and wingers. Why? Maybe we can ask Dennis on that.
Well, we saw a try scored in similar fashion to that late in the game, admitted last night by Leeds, when the ball was flicked out, and they happened to get over the line, Leeds, didn't they? But is it a plan by you coaches to play the flat?
I think early in the game you've seen that London have been forcing the pass on like a double face ball to the winger. Maybe that was the ball that the winger was expecting. Greenwood might have been expecting the ball to go past 2 players. And he takes a step back, he takes a step forward. That can be a difference sometimes. You take those chances.
Cunningham to Paul Anderson.
See, that's different to the defence, Eddie. Look how quickly, like Wigan on a Good Friday when they defeated Saints, how quickly they got up and stopped the momentum that Anderson provides for the team.
Yes, it was a good hit by Heighton. Oh, the ball's all over the place. Heighton's there again. Bennett, though, manages to keep this movement going back to Gilmore. It was the last, so that's why he's got the kick in and out. He watched it and watched it and watched it.
Well, he put his hands out, then he brought them back in, then he said it's going to be mine. In, out, back. You've got to cradle the football, and that means you've got to bring the elbows in underneath the football. Failed to do it. This could be extremely costly. It impressed me certain times as this full-back, but not on that occasion.
I don't think you catch the ball with your elbows, though, Steve-O. I think you catch the ball with your hands. I think he's got to get his hands on that ball, not his elbows.
Heads in.
So a glorious opportunity for St Helens to do what they do so often and score close to half-time. It's Gilmore again. He gets the ball away despite the 2-man tackle to Wellens. And here now is Wilkin.
A lot more fire in the defence from London. It has to be as well.
Well, it does. They're 15 metres away, St Helens, with Mickey Hyam. And he finds almost Vinnie Anderson. Back to 1 on the tackle count, he says. And Darren Albert is gobbled up by Lee Greenwood. Vinnie Anderson again. Here's Kieran Cunningham. straight up the middle.
Hey, all the way! Come on! Hold with me, Dave. Quick
Again,
down.
they're 15 metres away from the line. Hyam, that's a great run. Vinnie Anderson gets the ball away. It comes up for them so many times, doesn't it? And London with their scrambling defence. Cunningham dumps the ball back, and Edmondson went backwards, play on, and Francis Stevenson was first to react.
Tremendous effort from the prop forward. Very rare you see a prop forward thinking that quick. It was excellent stuff. And put that down. The one thing that Tony Rail will be happy with is the gang tackle, but did he go backwards? Hard to say, isn't it? I'm just making that point is that Tony Rail will be pleased with the way that they've sorted their defensive pattern out. It was all over the place in the opening 15 minutes.
This is Trundle for the Broncos. They're just inside their own half. This is the last tackle. They'll have to kick. Saints will get the ball back then. They'll have another set of 6 here up to half-time. Roby will pick it up 10 metres from his own line. It's not a bad chase. It's a very good chase, and it's forced back. O'Halloran and Luluai forcing him back. Wellens for St Helens finds Darren Albert. Oh, the gap's opened up for Darren Albert. He's the quickest in the game, remember. He's got Luisi ahead of him. Luisi, he just waited fatally. Luisi just waited, and he offered the touchline to Darren Albert, and Darren Albert accepted the gift. That's a great try from the wingman.
Well, he'll be happy in Millwood, but Tony Ray will be furious at the fact the kick down onto their left-hand side. The chase was good in that department, but you've always got to make sure that on the left and the opposite side you've got to have the chasers. They failed to do that. They relaxed.
And just watch, Steve-O, as Luisi just stutters. Just stuttered for a moment and gave Albert the room.
But you've got to make sure you get the tackle in way downfield.
Too late now.
Did well to get a fingertip to him. Either way, it was always going to be a try, and an important try. St Helens, like Wigan of old, they knew how to score a try with seconds remaining. But as I say, Tony Ray, the London coach, will be absolutely furious. The kick was good, the chase was good, but they just relaxed at the vital moment. Can't afford to do it.
Darren Albert, try scorer, confirmed last year as the quickest man in Super League, and 10 tries for the season now. Well, Hooper hasn't missed with a kick yet, and here's the chance to increase the lead just before half-time. In fact, I think as soon as this ball is either over the crossbar or just to the other side of the uprights, the siren will sound. Remember, Sculpthorpe, Long and Jamie Lyon, numbers 1, 2 and 3 in whatever order Ian Millwood selects them, are the kickers generally. They're off the field, out injured. Hooper hasn't made a bad fist of the job. He has made a terrific effort there. That's a great kick. Ian Millwood's on the blower.
I don't know who to, but it doesn't matter.
Maybe checking what we're saying about his team. 14-8, St Helens lead. And Darren Albert with the try right on the stroke of half-time. The time when all great sides have the ability and the habit of scoring a try. Darren Albert. And the great goal kicking from Jason Hooper. He hasn't missed one yet. And Saints go into the dressing room with a 14-8 half-time lead. London looked as though they were going to be swamped. Saints were 8 up after a quarter of an hour. London got 2 tries, but then this from Darren Albert, and Saints ahead of the break. Men. All right, they have a pretty dismal record against St Helens over the years. And they conceded 13 tries last week, a week after they scored 14 in the Cup at Hunslet. Admittedly, they are in National League 2. St Helens lost to Wigan on Good Friday. Since then, they have won the last 3 games. They're second in the table. They've only got the only undefeated home record in the business. They're away though here, and they're having to defend Paul Sykes' run. And Paul Wellens did that. This is Williams, and now it's Luke Dawn and Purdon. Thought about the offload. It's the last tackle here, and Luisi finds Luluai, dabs it to the in-goal area. Oh, now then, this is going to be very interesting because the ball was flicked back and it then was touched down.
But was his foot on the line? That's what he's got. Good work by Ian Smith.
I think Nick Bradley might have got himself a hat-trick here.
Well, Luluai, it was a great kick. They're onside.
He's checking the onside first
Yeah,
of all.
okay, that's fine. Everything's all right as far as they're concerned.
It's Luke Dawn who flicks it back, is it?
Yes, it is.
Now he's got to see whether Dawn has touched the whitewash first. This is a try. This is going to be a try. This is unbelievable. This is amazing. Roby has just let the ball go through, thinking that nobody surely can get to that. Well, Mr. Dawn has, and it's gone back. Bit of a jiggle there.
Ooh.
It's there, it's a try.
Well,
This is just unbelievable. It bobbled, and he's got it down.
what a start for London, and Nick Bradley, if this is given, this will be his hat-trick.
And what a way to score it. Bobbled it. Oh, has he made? I think he's dropped it.
That tells a lot, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I think he's lost it. Well, it's amazing how a different angle can prove it to you. I'm going to go no try. I'll be very surprised if Nick Bradley.
Well, London don't think it's a try, Steve. Oh, they're all lined up. Anticipation of Saints getting possession here. A tap on the 20-metre.
I've got to go, I know, TRY. But I'm not the video ref.
No, that's Ian Ollerton's job. Has Bradley got a hat-trick? No. And it is the 20-metre restart that the players were all lined up and ready for, as you can see. Only the referee has to be brought back into play.
Well, he deserved one, didn't it? Just by the effort
It was invention.
of Luke Dawn.
It was invention from Dawn.
Superb.
Come right, come left.
And to be fair to Bradley, you know, for the ball to just come back like that when it looked as though it was going to go dead in goal, he did well to get anywhere near it. And that is the reason why we need the video referee.
Very interesting. This is Cunningham. Flicks the ball back. Bennett keeps possession for his side. That's 4 tackles gone. I'd like to get Dennis Bett's view of all of that in a moment. Let's just have a look at after this kick downfield, which I think, well, Greenwood's going to have to run it back, and he does. Dennis, that was a very interesting decision from the video referee. Obviously the right one.
It was a great decision. Just the camera angles were fantastic. To be able to pick that up, it was a great effort from Dawn to get the pass in. It was a great start to the game for London, exactly what they wanted. They've gone the full length of the field, almost scored a try. So it's done their confidence a load of good. And I was just talking before the game restarted, then there's not many back-to-back sets from repeats, and these in-goals are so short and the pitch is pretty quick, and then London start the game exactly like that.
He's in touch over on that far side.
Well, once again we see that London outfit there applying the pressure, aren't they? Good to keep the ball out wide. Good work from Mickey Hyam, it had to be as well. And as we saw in the first half, Greenwood got away with one. Neat little offload from Hopkins. Loves nothing better as a second row to run out wide of the centres. Good work from Hyam.
The one thing about that video referee decision in the corner was, to everybody in the ground, the naked eye, to us up here, it looked as though Luke Dawn was over the dead ball line.
Well, even from the behind the sticks camera.
Oh, great ball. And again, this is Edmondson. They won't stop him. Edmondson is quick for a prop forward. And he's over for a try. Mark Edmondson. It's amazing. It's a great swing in favour of St Helens. Try that was disallowed at one end, and right up the other end, St Helens over for one from Mark Edmondson. It can be a cruel game this at times.
Certainly can, but you've got to be alert, and that's what London are falling down on. Again, we see that they come from way down their own quarter. Get the ball back on the inside. Hooper, you shouldn't be allowed to do all that, especially when you've got the speed of Darren Albert coming in looking for it. Edmondson, as Eddie has mentioned, is pretty fast and he's happy with it. and rightly so. You can't afford to do that. Look, there's 3 men has gone across. Hooper, 4th, 5, 6, and he has the ability to offload. Good support play.
Eddie, that's fantastic support play when you consider he's just packed down in the scrum seconds before that as a front row forward, and he's got on the end supporting the backs. Talk about the athletes in the game. That's a perfect example of it.
He lives every minute of it, doesn't he, Ian Millwood? Every one of the 80 minutes he is out there with his players. He's the 14th man.
14th man out of 17.
The 14th man on the field.
Sorry.
Hooper hasn't missed one yet, still hasn't, and the gap is stretched to 12 points. Well, London 8, Saints 20.
They've got to get the message across, Eddie. Johnny Reyes, just say, look, even though we've got St. Helens pinned down in their own quarter, we've got to concentrate, and that's where they're falling down. Remember, seconds remaining of the first half, they're going very easy to Darren Albert. He runs virtually the length of the field. They'll crucify your Saints if you don't get down in the tackle department.
They've scored more tries from their own half than any other team in the league. They've got such speed throughout the side, but they're going to need it here.
Yes, that was a mistake by Paul Anderson, just overran the pass.
Went with a bit of speed as well by James Roby.
Vinny, mind.
So a chance for London to strike back, and Hopkins from the base of the scrum. But it's Wellens who is ahead of him, and the man who made the mistake, Anderson, comes in to bring him down. Now then, they are 2 metres short of the line. This is David Heighton, gives it a bit of width, finds Luke Dawn, who in turn finds Paul Sykes, who jinks away from one. Good defence though from Saints. Hooper with the tackle. This is Williams now, he's backed himself. And Marco Halloran has got his hand up over here on the near touchline. He wants the ball fed out this way as quickly as possible. Luluai gives it to Stevenson. They go back that way again. And this is Luisi, the full back. They've lost a bit of momentum here. That's tackle number 4. Trindle, Heighton, Luluai. It was a terrible pass.
Good work from Gilmore, though. He's a man that's been put on to make sure that Luluai has got no room to move.
Dawn with a kick through. They're going to get a second set of 6 here. London. No, they're not. Offside is the referee's decision against Lee Hopkins. And he's talked to the referee.
Oh, silly play.
Well, he's not offside.
No, he's been badly done to.
That's why he backchatted the referee, but there is no excuse for that, just the same.
No, you're right, but there's no excuse for the official to pull that one out. You know, 50-50, you've got to sort of give the benefit of the doubt, haven't you?
Well, there are eyes all over the show. 4th official, video referees in touch with the match referee, Mr. Smith. It would have been a very important repeat set of 6 for London. Was that forward? No. He had to stretch forward for it, John Wilkin. This is Hyam. And Hyam gets the ball away. And Wellens bravely, Wilkin rather bravely picks it up. This is Cunningham. Ball finds its way back to Bennett, who loses it. Luluai picks it up. Chance here for London, but he's enveloped by James Roby.
Well, at a scoreline of 20 points to 8, I'm really surprised that St. Helens are still trying to keep this ball alive.
Well, that's the way they play.
Yeah, I know, but there are times when you've got to get the message out and just say, look, calm it down, let's make sure we get through our set of 6, make sure we get a good kick and chase, and that is great defence.
Wonderful from Vinnie Anderson.
It's quite good watching St. Helens attack, the way they're attacking the ruck and coming down the middle of London, with Ian Millward actually sat behind the post with a camera, with a video, watching the game at a different angle to see those spaces in London's line.
Yes, he's right behind the post, so we cannot see the big screen here at Griffin Park, but he's got a great view. I think that is his video man that's filming the match for him. Oh, and Luluai, again, it was a forced pass. It found its way to Nick Bradley, but Marco Halloran with the flick was just forward. He's got his computer there, he's got walkie-talkie, he's got his
he actually
video.
He edits highlights during the first half and then shows important clips in the dressing room at half-time, what he thinks are important, what he wants his side to work on in the second quarter.
They're not technophobes then, are they, these coaches? Dennis, how are you on the computer?
Well, I've got exactly the same computer, the same thing.
You lend it to him, do you?
No, I think you've got one each.
Actually, a good point about Ian Millwood and Tony Ray, who we're seeing here today. They are the longest-serving coaches in Super League. Ian Millwood since March 2000. 6 months later, Tony Ray took over here. And they face each other for the 13th time here tonight. Tony Ray has won just 2. And the interesting thing about Tony, I mentioned it last week, he actually played in the Super League early on.
Yeah.
For London, of course. There he is. Looks like he could still have a go, couldn't he? Maybe Dennis could as well, actually, looking at him.
Sometimes I think I might have to.
You might this year, mightn't you? St Helens keeping the ball alive again. Last tackle.
That's a good call there by Ian Smith. Brought in the rule. It looked as though there was a knock-on by a London Bronco arm. Well, we'll go into touch.
Great kick from Wilkin, that.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make. When you've got a pretty convincing lead, all you need to do is just apply the pressure, kick down there. Their defence is pretty good. They only missed 5 tackles, did Saints, in the first 40.
John Wilkin with the kick. He missed last week. Try against Wigan on Good Friday, though, on his return to the side. And had got a try here last year, actually, in a victory by 26 points to 12. London with the head and feet at the scrum here. And there's a man in the blood bin. It's Danny Williams. And Lola here comes back on for him. Well, London need a little bit of inspiration from somewhere.
Eddie, they need a penalty, probably, because if you think back to the first half, it was penalties that Saints conceded that gave them the position to attack and score from. And if Saints don't concede any penalties, it's going to be difficult for London to get into another attacking position.
Well, they tried to keep the ball alive. Luluai, though, he decided to come back this way, and Mark Edmondson was waiting for him. That was Tukey's ball to McClendon. Hamona.
We nearly made the half break.
And the last tackle, McClendon puts the kick in. Picked up by Purdom, who took the tackle from Tala without ball in hand. And here comes Wellens now for St Helens. Quick counter-attack they're looking for. Paul Sykes quickly onto Darren Albert. Mickey Heim waits the dummy half. It's now Albert.
All the way, Thomas! Come on, quicker!
News of Danny Williams from Bill.
He's got a nasty gash in his forehead. He's just having treatment at the moment. He's been in the wars since he arrived for the London Broncos against Hunslet the other week in the Cup. He got a really nasty gash in his face and had to have stitches, and he's in the wars again tonight.
He's trying to stem the blood from the head, Danny Williams. And they need him out there.
They just need that spark, and I'm afraid that they're not showing it at the moment. If there's one man that can change it, and that's a hooker, Mark McClendon, who's been utilised in that position and also at times in the standoff. But it's pretty solid defence, is that, isn't it?
It is, Mark O'Halloran. We've been saying for much of the night, as Luisi makes the break, we've been saying for much of the night that it's London who are trying to force the pace. Maybe we should be giving credit to St Helens for this wonderful defence.
Well, it's solid, don't worry. As I mentioned, only 5 missed tackles in that first 40.
That's the last tackle here for London.
They've got to make sure it's getting in the in-goal area, maybe a repeated 6.
Tukey gives it back to McClendon. Quick hands, Purdom, but Tala was all over him. And Purdom manages to get the ball away to McClendon. There's a chance here. They're running it on the last, but the pass is straight to Roby, and Roby will counter.
Well, he had the opportunity there, McClendon. Okay, they got caught. That's a great tackle by Tukey. But really you want to be able to get the ball in the in-goal area so you can get that repeat. They haven't been doing that.
Fozzard. The Tukey tackle has lifted London again. Here's Keith Mason. Hyam and Vinnie Anderson. A couple of them overran it, but incredibly for St Helens, Albert is there. Last tackle though for Saints, they're on halfway. Back it comes to Wellens. Wellens with the kick.
Much
Turning
better as well.
Nick Bradley around, and Bradley's going to have to run this back from his own line, which he does. Here's Luluai.
Oh, well, they've got away with it. That's a knock-on.
It's a knock-on by Talau. He's given London 6 more tackles here. They were very fortunate then.
They certainly were. But the kick was very good indeed.
I think I'll have to go back on that point that you made then. I think it's not London's inability to attack. I think it's the way that St Helens are defending. Anybody they were playing would be struggling tonight. They've got real sting in them and they're picking people up.
That's a great ball from Tukey. Here is Luisi. He's on his own though, looking for support. It wasn't there.
Great tackle again from Albert. Such a solid player.
Sykes finds Luluai. Luluai comes back this way to McClendon. He then gets the ball inside to Lola here, who keeps it moving. And it's Hamono. Hamono, back it goes to Rob Purdon. Tries to fend off Keith Mason. Does so, but Hooper was there as the reinforcement. This is the last tackle for London. Luluai with a kick straight to Wellens.
Great position.
And here goes Wellens.
He's just amazing, this fullback Paul Wellens. Not only his positional sense is superb, but he always seems to have the ability of beating the first would-be tackler. Gives great
Ball's
advantage.
come free there. Penalty.
Well, they won't be rushing this, Saints. Well, taking the time. They've been on the rack slightly. No doubt about it that Tukey had the left arm in. Watch it just strip it away. Well spotted by the official.
Here's Mauri Fasavalu. Cunningham waits. Fozzard. Back to Cunningham. Up. And that's good defence from Marco Halloran. Wellens. Little dummy, but fortunately for London, Homona wasn't fooled. This is Gilmore. Now it's Wilkin again. They're 20 metres away, St Helens, with Cunningham, with Wellens, dab to the in-goal area, just too deep.
Eddie, I think the game's in a very interesting stage here. If St Helens score next, they win the game. I don't think that London can come back. They don't have maybe the ability or the confidence to score 3 tries, or 4 it would be to win the game. So London are trying to lift their intensity, and Saints are looking for the killer punch on their side.
Indeed so, it's a 12-point advantage, and London have a penalty here. And there's the penalty that you said London might need about 10 minutes ago, though.
This is it, yeah. This is maybe the chance to get them back in the game.
It's got to be a good kick from Luluai. Good territory needed here.
On the ground, brother!
We restart just over halfway, and here comes Hamono.
The game's been played at quite a pace. I wonder how much they've got left in the tank.
Luluai. Oh, bang away from Lola here. Oh, quick hands again from Luluai, but almost rushed hands, almost panic hands from Thomas Luluai. Now Tukey.
Well, at 20 points to 8, Eddie, you've got to really test your arm here.
Purdon. Well, that's what they're doing all the time, but the passing from London does tend to go to ground from time to time.
They've got to do it.
They've got to take a chance.
Yeah, they're too far behind.
Lee Hopkins and Luke Dawn tacking down that left-hand side. Here is Sykes again, and Sykes, great defence. They're so close, London. There's the kick, looking for Luluai. He will score here if he's onside. The referee checks and gives the try. Phil Clark called it. he said this is the penalty that just could get London back into it. And Luluwai dumped the ball into touch from the penalty, and Luluwai, the man who 6 tackles later is over the line for the London try. Well, he's on a plane tomorrow to New Zealand for the Anzac Test for the Kiwis.
It's something they've been crying out with the opportunity to get the ball in the in-goal area, not just on this occasion to get the set at 6. They'll do that from the kickoff. Oh, beautiful stuff. Neat kick from Dawn, and this man took control. They're back in the game, they needed it. Excellent from the standoff, and well picked up. Cast your mind back to very early on at the start of this second half. Bradley had a no try. It was Luke Dawn that had a wonderful effort of flicking the ball back. Sadly, Bradley could not control it, but they're back in the game. Well, boy, they needed it.
Paul Sykes hasn't kicked a goal yet, but this is a glorious opportunity for him to get off the mark, which he does. And now the lead is down to 6. 14 points to 20. Last week, London shut up shop and almost got back on the bus and went home at this point in the second half. But they are on home turf this week, and they're back in the match.
We saw in the first half, remember when there was a good defence, when 4 players took out, I think it was Darren Albert over the touchline. That lifted their spirits. And remember the big hit from Tukey, and that certainly has led the way.
Well, it's remarkable, isn't it? Because it's St Helens who are back in it with Jason Hooper. I was just going to make a point about him. He's kicked 4 from 4. Sykes has kicked 1 from 3. The goal kicking of Jason Hooper, and it's a strange name to talk about goal kicking in St Helens. That's the difference. Here is Fasavalou. Saints now try and turn the screw again and respond immediately. Cunningham, back it comes to Wellens, and Wellens drops the shoulder, bounces away from one. He's picked up a bit of pace, and Wellens, he gets to the line. He gets almost over the line, and he's held by Luisi in the end. Hopkins is underneath it as well. 3 tackles left. Cunningham. Hopkins did well. Hopkins did really well because Cunningham's deadly from that range. Here's Wellens spreading it to Hyam, and that's a knock on against Luke Dawn, but he had to go for it.
Well, he took the gamble if you're going to come out of the one line of defence, which he did. Look at that. Great positional sense, but you really got to make sure you get to it. Another set of 6. It was good work from Mickey Hyam, you know. He stole the ball earlier that got them to possession.
See, I think that's a massive error though there. He's man for man, he's got to tackle the man with the ball. It's late in the tackle count. He's give possession back to St Helens in a very dangerous position here.
Yes, it's much better than the goal line dropout this. Here is Gilmore. And Gilmore running flat, finds Talau, finds Roby. And it's time for London to muscle up in defence.
Good work from Roby there. Knew that there was no way on the outside. Made sure he stepped off the left foot.
It's Talau, and this is Mason, and Mason
can't get it down.
Can't get it down.
He'll go back.
Just let's have a check. Just see he got it down.
He just wants to check whether he got it down. Keith Mason's reaction says he didn't.
Well, he certainly run hard at it. I don't think he touched terra firma. No, O'Halloran gets underneath it. There's no way that this is going to be a try. But if you any doubt, and Ian Smith certainly had that. Let's go to the video referee. This is no try.
And it's going to be whatever tackle they have called here.
Is it the second, I think?
It is. So they'll come back the 10 metres. And the tackle count will continue with Talau, with Fasavalou. With Fasavalou!
Well, desperation there. McClendon had to go for the legs.
Cunningham waits. It comes back to Hyam. And Mickey Hyam testing this London defence again. Tukey in there to add a little bit of weight. Paul Wellens. Paul Wellens to Cunningham. To Cunningham. Danger, danger for London. Good defence.
Great work from Sykes there. He knew that Hooper was coming on to him.
Here's Cunningham again. And this is Vinnie Anderson! And how ironic that is. Vinnie Anderson, the man who might well have been plying his trade here in London, has touched down for the Saints.
Well, it's great relief. I think we saw it etched on the face of the Saints coach, Ian Millward.
And it was wonderful pressure from St Helens.
It certainly was, and good work by the hooker Kieran Cunningham. Worked the blind side. No way you're going to stop the fella. Good upper body strength. He had the numbers there, but there was no way they were going to stop him. Lee Hopkins tried, but insufficient. And this is what it means. As you said, he gets excited, doesn't he?
Yes, and I think that's great to see, mate.
Doesn't matter whether it goes for him.
No.
He gets excited when it's against him, doesn't it?
But remember Brad Drew's length of the field try last week, and John
Yep.
Sharp in the stands, head on hand. He looked like he'd lost a pound and found tuppence.
Well, they have different characters, don't they?
Jason Hooper then, his goal kicking, as I said before, has been so important. And now he's shouting his instructions down to John Wilkins. He's not in the technical area, he's in the stand behind the goal. Hooper hasn't missed yet tonight. There we are, Mickey Hyam now receiving words of wisdom. Hooper with the kick. Misses with his first miss of the night there for Jason Hooper. So it's 10 points, the gap, 14-24. Vinnie Anderson with the try, though.
And what a boost it is for Ian Millward. And the St Helens fans, of course. Regular kicker off the field of play, and you can just bring this fella into the frame, Jason Hooper.
And the referee, Mr. Smith, I think has had a little word with Lee Hopkins about the way he spoke to him just a few minutes ago.
Get behind.
Sykes restarts.
Well, that's an unusual kick-off at, I know there's only 10 points, but I think Addo have been trying to force it and go for a short one, trying to get possession back.
Left side, hold.
If ever a side is going to be susceptible to the 5-card trick and allow the try to be scored, it's when you're basking in the glory of just scoring a try yourself.
Down to Bill.
Well, what was behind that little chat between the referee Ian Smith and Lee Hopkins was that immediately after that try from Vinnie Anderson, Hopkins gave one of the touch judges his view of the proceedings, which didn't accord with how the referee saw it. London feeling pretty hard done by that last try.
I don't know whether they will feel hard done by here because Hooper has lost it.
That'll be the knock-on. No
Sensational play though from St Helens, wasn't it? So quick, the ball through the hands, but Hooper is hurt here.
Yeah, he ducked the head right into the ribcage of Paul Sykes. See that? Just caught it.
Yeah, Hooper was ducking, and it was a swinging arm from, or at least it would have appeared to have been a swinging arm from Sykes, but Hooper was down very low. But it looks like he's been caught just the same.
Yeah, as maybe he's just caught the hip. It looked to me as though Paul Sykes had missed with the following arm. I'm not so sure it was an intentional swipe. Either way, Hooper not too impressed and doesn't look too crash hot at the moment. But we saw there the quality of Kieran Cunningham. You know, how many times when St Helens need the professionalism, someone to dig deep and just bring him out of it. We've just seen Cunningham create the try for Vinnie Anderson, and we saw him run into dummy half, racing away, creating all sorts of problems. Little doubt in my mind, he is still the top hooker in the game.
Taking the time with Jason Hooper, and why wouldn't they? His welfare is more important than anything else. He's being helped from the field. Although he is reluctant to leave, off he goes. London, you know, they've only got a 50% success ratio in home games in the Super League.
Well, you were making the point on boots and all in regards that, you know, London, they just can't seem to get it put together when they're away from home. You know, it's only 2 years ago, it was entirely the opposite.
Correct.
They went about 9 games here and couldn't pick up a win.
Here's Tukey.
Well, they're still not out of it. There's plenty of time.
There is, and if they get a try shortly, London, it will be all on for the last 10 minutes or so.
You say that, Eddie, and yet the problem is when they got back into the game at 14 points to 20, Solomon Harmono lost the ball on the first tackle because he was hit so hard, and that makes me think whatever London do, Saints still have a little bit more in the tank.
McClendon to Dawn, and the kick down the line, but very well picked up by Roby. And Wilkin to Wellens. Tukey is there, but Wellens, that could have been a flop.
Certainly close to it, wasn't it?
Referee shouted dominant that Wellens went to ground, and that's the new interpretation, and that isn't.
Well, Tukey gave himself up. He landed onto him and then looked at the referee and said, I think I've done wrong. Watch this. Comes into it, bang, looks at the referee. Oh, have I got away with it? No, I haven't.
Big lad, Mark Tukey, isn't he?
He certainly is, but I think he'll get a little bit of a chin wag from his coach, Tony Ray.
He's a former Queensland under-17 and under-19 star, the number 17 there in red for London.
He's been powerful, fast of a loo when he's run the ball. I know it's only been a few times since he come on, but he's very, very strong now as the London lads tire.
St Helens looking to wrap this game up with Mickey Hyan.
And there you see, that's a ploy that St Helens use quite often, is that when they go across, notice there's 3 and 4 St Helens players.
This is Bennett.
They mix in amongst the defence.
Cunningham is there. Oops, knock on, he didn't play it properly.
Well, that's a huge mistake.
It's a massive let-off for London there.
It certainly is. Can't play it forward, and that's what he did. Let's go backwards, as you see.
Tukey was all over him as well, by the way. He actually got a foot to it, which is a little unusual these days.
I think it's a bit of a lucky call there, because
I do.
It's London under the cosh a little bit. St Helens got a bit of momentum back, and they got a good call there, London.
What they want is a length of the field effort from this fellow, Nick Bradley, for his hat-trick. Thought he had it at the start of the second half. Here's Harmono again.
Dennis, I'd like to ask you in the way that St Helens, you know, they have these dummy runners, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Oh, that's a golden opportunity knocked on.
They've been doing that throughout the course of the evening. Every pass seems to be forced.
Yeah. Well, they're behind, they've got to try it. You see there, Luke Dawn. If it had taken that, there was a huge gap. Yeah, the point, Dennis, I'm making is that St Helens very, very crafty. 2, 3 dummy runners come through, then they stop, and it's as though they're in the London lineup, and you'll find the likes of Cunningham or Hyam running towards his own players.
Well, if you're into space and not running into men, then you're in a legal position. If you start blocking people and running into people, then it's an illegal shepherd, and that's when you get a penalty.
Well, that ball has come free. And it was very difficult for Lee Gilmore to keep hold of that because the ball was up round his ears. He did his best. There were hands in there.
Well, it certainly was. McClendon certainly had one in. That's the reason why second row, Lee Gilmore, far from impressed by the touch judge.
I think Mark O'Halloran came in as well. Bump. A chance for London then. And here's Danny Williams all patched up. Gets them over halfway, then he's forced back. Keeps on going. Sykes waits. Homona.
Much better for the big fella as well, and that's what they needed early in this game.
Here's Williams again. Good hit though by Keith Mason. McClendon to Luluai. Short ball to Purdom. And Wilkin went for a piggyback.
Well watched as well by Wilkin. He could see that the very short ball was going. It's got to be a kick.
And McClendon gets the kick to the corner, but into row 2 of the stand over there. He got clobbered after the ball had gone by Nick Fozzard, but Fozzard had committed himself.
Over me, Thomas.
Not the best by the former camera raider, but he's worked hard. Definitely hard as Mark McClendon, but every time they need to get possession, they come up with an error. They can't afford to do it. You've got to apply that pressure. I think they've only had one set of 2 sixes in this half.
I'm looking at London now and I'm thinking, where's the try going to come from? They've scored their points deep in the St Helens half. If St Helens play the game in the opposition's half, it's going to be very, very difficult for London to score the points they need to get into this game.
Wellens is looking for a 40-20 here. And he has got it, has he? Oh no, Greenwood gets to it. It was Wilkin, I beg his pardon. Anyway, it didn't happen. Let's go down to the sideline, and Villa's got news, I think, of the injured player, Jason Hooper.
Jason Hooper's going to have a thumping headache in the morning, and thankfully that's just about all. He is on the sidelines looking pretty groggy, not as groggy he was looking when he came off.
This is Hopkins, he's got support. They are going to score here through Luke Dawn. Dennis Betts didn't know where the try scorer's coming from, and Luke Dawn has told him.
I've had a shocker tonight. I've called twice. They've made a break and they've scored a try.
Don't worry, Dennis, join the club. Luke Dawn, that's a fabulous London try. They're right back in it again.
Superb little offload there by Paul Sykes, and Hopkins kept his cool, and Dawn certainly has made up for a couple of errors with that. Excellent play, it's a planned move. Paul Sykes looked as though he was going on the open, went on the short blind side, and the man who loves nothing better than to run through. Hopkins gives it to Dawn, and all of a sudden London are well and truly back in this game.
They are indeed. And Sykes makes it 2 from 4. And it's 24 points to St Helens, 20 now to London. And suddenly Ian Millward has a little furrow on his brow.
Well, full credit to the Broncos at a time, and there's the coach. He knows they're still in with this game.
Well, we're contrasting the coaches' styles. Ian Millward up on his feet, punching, yes. Tony Ray, impassive, all the way through. Win, lose or draw.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Ray celebrates Guy Fawkes night, does he?
I don't know anybody does these days.
Oh, I do. Can't beat a good rocket. Or maybe you're a Catherine wheel.
He's saying his lead.
I'm just thinking of Steve-O being pushed through the streets of London in a wheelbarrow. Mark McClendon.
I must say, I used to do it through Dewsbury. We couldn't afford any straw to fill out the real one.
Luisi. London in possession and with the sniff of something. Luluai with a kick down the middle, and it will skip away a bit from Wellens, and it will skip away so much that it goes over the dead ball line.
They won't be too upset about that. That's one of the ploys that Tony Ray often uses, is the fact that even if it does go dead in goal, he knows he can get a straight line. But the big problem on 2 occasions is that they've allowed St Helens to break through from their own quarter and go the length of the field to score vital tries.
Here's Cunningham. Trindle gets to him, but he flicks the pass to Mickey Hyam. London's tackling now has to be sure. They have to be secure, and St Helens can pierce defences from anywhere, and runs like that from Anderson get them over halfway.
And the most important thing is they cannot afford to give away a silly penalty. They probably get the chance with the time of maybe 2 sets of 6. Not more than that.
Oh, here's Wilkin. Gets the ball away to Wellens. Purdom gets to him. This is Anderson. Anderson flicks the pass away. And they keep the movement going somehow, St Helens. And here is Wilkin. And now it's Mickey Hyam. Wonderful stuff from Bennett. Wonderful stuff from St Helens. Unbelievable.
Whatever they do, they can always do a little bit more here tonight.
You think St Helens are playing in second gear?
No, I don't, but when they're put under pressure, they can respond. They've just shown it twice.
The ball went to ground. It looked like the danger had gone. St Helens were first to react. And in the end, Mike Bennett over for the try. But just look at this.
Well, it was beautiful crisscross, wasn't it? Back on the inside. OK, they took to it. I don't know why the fullback, Luisi, elected to try to kick the ball when really he should have dropped on it. Tried to drop onto it. Hyam, great call from Bennett. No doubt about it. Hyam was running one way. but the ability to pass the ball back on the inside. Wilkins back onto the full-back. That is quite superb. This is the moment when he should have put his body on the line. He didn't. Willie Tallow shouldered him off it when he really should have been diving on the football, and they paid the price again. Another long-range effort. Take those 3 long-range efforts away from the St. Helens side and they'd be on the losing pay.
Yes, but Phil Clark's right. It seems that whenever London get the sniff of something, St. Helens just up a gear. They go into overdrive. And another kicker here, Paul Wellens, because Jason Hooper obviously is off the field injured. And Wellens can kick a goal. This is certainly within his range. He adds the extras, and I think he's secured the win now. London 20, St. Helens 30. And Dave Hadfield, we need the name of your man of the match.
A lot more to admire about London's performances than there were.